friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kate if you're new. Happy to have you here. I have been doing this thing lately where every time we go to Barnes & Noble, I will buy at least one book. But a thing I have also been doing is if there's a book that I've been hearing about for a while or an author I've wanted to try, but I'm just not quite certain how I'm gonna feel about it, I've been checking to see if my local library has a copy and putting a hold on it if it does. So while that is helpful kind of in general, it does mean that I now have a problem, which is I have far too many books out from the library right now. Some of these you've even seen in a previous video. I've been holding on to We Hunt the Flame for far too long. I am almost out of renewals on it. I think I only have like 2 left. And I've had this since I think February. But then I was down visiting some friends in San Diego and she had a bunch of Alix Harrow on her shelf. And I asked if she recommended her because I have again been hearing this author named in a lot of videos, but I just haven't had anything like grab me and say, yes, you need to read this. So she said that she really liked it. So when I was there, they had this on their just kind of new releases shelf and I decided to grab it. Similarly, we have Charlie Jane Anders' Lessons in Magic and Disaster. Now, I've read one Charlie Jane Anders book. I have it back in my library. It's All the Birds in the Sky. It is a sci-fi kind of dystopian, very weird. And I remembered afterwards not being 100% sure how I felt about it, which is why I haven't bought any of her other books, but I'm willing to give her another try. And the library is a perfect way to do that. This one feels a little bit more practical magic-y. It's about like witches and families of witches. Now this is another one, an author that I have read before, and I've just heard mixed reviews about this series, and so I've been hesitant, but this is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I have read the original Grisha trilogy ages ago, way before I had a booktube channel. I've read Six of Crows now a couple times. I just recently reread it. And since I had just recently read a Leigh Bardugo, when I saw Ninth House and Hellbent at my local Barnes, I was like, you know what? I should really just give this a try. I also just recently read Blood Over Brighthaven, and so maybe I'm also in a little bit of a dark academia vibe. So anyway, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there is a horse down the hill, like our neighbors kind of down that way have, and they have 3 horses and they are quite chatty with each other. So I don't know if the mic's picking it up, but I am hearing loud horse noises. Country living. Anyway, dark academia, Yale, secret societies. This has been all over BookTube for years, but I decided maybe it's time for me to finally check it out. Then next, this is another one. I've seen it a lot on BookTube. No one seems to be able to definitively give me a review that tells me if I'm going to really like it or if I'm going to really hate it. And I am skeptical of most romantasy. All of this to say, I got Silvercloak by L.K. Stephen. I thought this was a standalone novel. And then I picked it up from the library, brought it home, and saw book 1 of this, and I was like, God damn it. So this one I'm annoyed about because it is a series, and the second one isn't even out yet. But it's got a whole thing about like turning pain into magic or turning pain into pleasure into magic, something like that. I've seen systems that have used that before as a trope that I have enjoyed, so I am willing to try it out. I'm just hesitant on the genre, frankly. So we've got Silvercloak by L.K. Stephen. Next, we have another like kind of romantasy that's been talked about a lot. We have Divine Rituals by Rebecca Ross. What annoys me about this one is a thing that annoys me about a lot of publishing. This one is literally is in the title, Divine Rivals, okay? And then we read the synopsis, and it's talking about they go to the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. Rival? And then they talk about how this book is enemies to lovers. No, it fucking isn't. It's rivals to lovers. A similar but distinct thing. It is not enemies to lovers if they're rivals at the same fucking newspaper. Whatever. Anyway, not the point. So we have Divine Rivals. This is book 1 of a duology. The thing is, I also have here A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, which is book 2 of a different duology. I read book 1. I got book 1 out of the library and already returned it a couple weeks ago. So like I have been working through my library piles. It's just that every time I return a book, I check out at least 1 or 2 more. So the stack isn't getting any smaller, even if I am slowly working my way through it. So am I going to be willing to start book 1 of a young adult duology when I have book 2 of an adult fantasy? Cat, get away from my tuna. Get away. This one I just got today. so it's not due for a while. So this one I should put off, but am I going to be able to read Divine Rivals when I've got this one? I don't know. All right, and then the final one, this is also one that I just picked out today, so this is very much lower on the priority list, is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. Oh, hi, Polly. This is another one. This is an author that I've heard a lot. I know she did that like Deal with the Elf King series that's like a romantasy where each one is like a different marriage to a different type of dude. Like there's an elf and a vampire and whatever. So even though I don't know if I'm interested in that series, I am still interested in the author, and this one is all about like tarot card magic. This one also is book 1 of a series when I don't think book 2 is even out yet. This just came out last year. But I want to try some new authors that I've been hearing about for a few years now, but I haven't actually gotten around to reading. My wife is currently traveling. She's in Denver with her mom, and she won't be back until kind of late afternoon tomorrow. So my plan for while she is gone is to try to read as many of these books as possible. I finished one last night. It was The Inheritance of Orquidea Divina. Very magical realism. Very, if I had a nickel for every time a piece of media was released in 2021 that was about an extended Latin American family where the magic was also a metaphor for generational trauma and there was a grandmother that just like didn't talk about her past, I'd have 2 nickels.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Other than that kind of thematic elements, Encanto and Inheritance are very, very different. Inheritance also gave me a tiny bit of Night Circus vibes because there is like a magical circus in it. Tiny bit of Howl's Moving Castle because there's a thing about like a living fallen star in it. Overall pacing kind of slow, but in a way that I didn't dislike. Like it just felt very, maybe meticulous is the right word. Like we just spend a lot of time getting to know this family and less time on the plot, but kind of that was the point, was getting to know this family. Anyway, I liked it. I returned it. I haven't decided what I'm rating it yet. I need to think about it more, and I'll talk about it more on my quarterly wrap-up. So what I need to do next, I need to pick my next book. Oh my God, people are doing like construction and stuff. I don't know how much of this the mic is picking up, but it is a sunny-ish, the light keeps changing. I can't do anything about that. The clouds just happen. We've gotten like 4 days of rain, and today is our first clear day, even if it's not totally sunny. But that means that fucking everyone is out doing yard work, doing their woodworking projects. Probably people are going to start burning leaves soon because we live in a very high forest fire danger range. So I know in other areas of the country, they say don't burn your leaves. Here we're a place where we need to burn our leaves. So there's just a lot of noise happening out here. I hear birds, but I also hear power saws and sometimes horses. The horses are nice. I'll take those. The power saws I'm less thrilled about. The afternoon is about 2 o'clock. I'm not sure exactly when she comes home tomorrow. So I was calling this a 48-hour reading vlog, but I just finished Inheritance of Orquidea last night and I haven't read anything today. So it's closer to a 24-hour vlog, but bear with me. I have some books. I think I am gonna do We Hunt the Flame first, because this one I just can't justify keeping any longer. I have to read this book. I'd put it off while I was reading the Tasha Suri Burning Kingdoms, like the Jasmine Throne. They just seemed a little too similar in the sense that they were like both like kingdom, like a network of kingdoms that were all unified under one kind of tyrant. But I think there was also a thing about like burning women in it. So anyway, they were just too thematically similar. I have not actually finished the Burning Kingdoms. I got through book 2 and I am enjoying it. And also it was simultaneously putting me into a reading slump. I don't quite know what to do with that, but I stopped at the end of book 2 and now I have had enough distance from that I think I can try this one again. So this is my main goal of the reading vlog, is I have to finish We Hunt the Flame. I don't have to finish the second one because that's on audiobook digitally. I can renew that one as long as I want. This one I have to finish. Okay, well, it's now been a couple of hours. I have gotten through, I'm now on page like 160 of like almost 500. It's like 470. So I'm not that far into it yet, but I am enjoying it so far. It does, I am now remembering, have even more similarities to the Tasha Suri Burning Kingdoms series, like the spooky forest and like the six sisters in the Burning Kingdoms, it's the seven mothers, but like these magical women that died and now magic is gone. Like again, very similar. So I am glad that I've had some other books in between those two to kind of break that up, but I am enjoying it, and it is a young adult, so it is going pretty fast. I don't read young adult a ton, and I do still, just like as a 37-year-old, find it difficult to remember that these kids are 17. So it is almost 5, and my favorite sushi place is about to open, and my wife doesn't like sushi, so it is something that I always get when she is out of town. But I might just kind of like take the evening off to eat and clean my house and stuff, and maybe just get back to this when I like get in bed for the night. But I don't really have to go to sleep at any particular time today, so I can maybe read kind of late tonight, so we'll see. Hey, so welcome back to my back deck. It is now Sunday, a little bit after noon. I really tried to do more reading last night in bed, and I got 40 pages and passed out. So I think last I left off I was on about page 160, now I'm on page like 210. We have just kind of gotten to the Act 2 bit where like the actual main plot is starting to happen. The book itself is divided up into 3 parts, and part 1 is very introductory, getting to know all of our characters and like kind of the world and what the quest is going to be and all of that. Part 2 is when the quest actually starts. So I'm barely into part 2, and there's been this character this whole time that from his very first line, I was like, oh no. You're not going to do well in this story, because he was the best friend's brother who was clearly in love with the heroine, who clearly was not in love with him. So I was kind of already struggling to take him seriously, but then I realized that one of the reasons I was struggling to take him seriously is that this is, you know, clearly and kind of Arabic-inspired world. We have names that reflect that, right? Like our main character's named Zafira. Her clear love interest, who's the other point of view in this book, is named Nasir, right? And then this guy is named Dean. Now it's spelled D-E-E-N, but still his name is Dean. I cannot take a Dean seriously. Sorry, Dean. There's this general character that I'm trying to figure out if he's like either immortal, like, because there's these like Sapphin, which are essentially elves. He is either an immortal Sapphin, or he's gay, or possibly both, and I haven't figured out what yet. So I don't quite know what's going on with Altair. But he's also clearly part of like some rebel group, because he keeps trying to sabotage this mission that Zafira the hunter has to go retrieve this jewel for the Sultan, and he clearly does not want the mad Sultan getting more power. So yeah, I'm figuring out how I feel about this book. Nasir bores me a little bit. I'm just a little bit over that whole thing, also because they're clearly setting up the arc of where he is going to join the rebels. Like, he clearly hates what his father is doing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm on chapter 35 of like 90, so I am still determined to finish this book this weekend. However, my wife did just text that she just boarded the plane, and this vlog does end when she gets home. So I have like maybe 4 more hours before she walks in the door. Also, if you're curious, the reason I keep filming out here is just because this is my favorite place to read. Like, I have my library, and there's a really nice, like, big cushy beanbag in there that I do use. It's just my favorite place. So I'm gonna see what I can get done. Okay. Maybe this is a nitpick. Something shattered in his unfeeling eyes. If someone's eyes are unfeeling, they can't shatter. Shatter is a feeling. Anyway. Okay. Mission accomplished. Oh man, it is 4:12. I haven't gotten a text that she's arrived yet, but sometimes she gets in her car and forgets to text me and then just shows up at the house. So in theory, she should be arriving home in about 15 minutes. So cutting it close. But I did it, man. Now, obviously, I still have a ton of library books that I need to finish, but I have been procrastinating on We Hunt the Flame since I think January, and I'm about to run out of renewals on it, so I am counting it a win that I finished this. Now, I think I'm gonna rate it 3 stars. I liked it, but a lot of the writing was just clunky. I'll get into it more in my quarterly wrap up, but there's something good there, but it needed just a little bit more work to be great. Anyway, that was a lot of reading in one day. I might be done for the day. It is, I'm laughing because my cat is yelling at the door because it is in fact their dinner time. So thank you for joining me on this Library TBR Takedown. I managed to finish The Inheritance of Orquidea Divina and We Hunt the Flame, which I have been trying to get done for months. So I'm gonna call it a win. But that is gonna be it for this video. Let me know what your most recent or current read is, and I will see you guys very soon with another video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.